Hey you guys, so I wanted to come on here and respond to an email sent to me by one of my subscribers. This question has made its rounds throughout the Black community and it ranges from a multitude of different reasons. So from a Black male perspective, I want to try and provide some insight as to why Black women wear weaves. I'll also be touching a little bit on appropriation versus assimilation because I feel like that with this particular commentary, it actually warrants it. So the email starts out by saying, "Hello, Chris. I'm writing to you to say that I enjoy your content and love how you focus on things like accountability and calling out unfavorable behaviors in the Black community. I have one simple question for you, though, and I've never heard from a Black man his take on why Black women wear weaves. At least one that could really elaborate and provide a thorough explanation. I would really like to hear your reasoning for why they wear weaves, lace fronts, wigs, etc." Like that, he actually ends the email right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this. So first off, I do just want to say that I am going to make sure that this person's privacy is protected, so I won't reveal his name, but I do admire you guys whenever you send me emails and any kind of questions or concerns that you have about the Black community in general. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into this one because I don't want the video obviously to be too long. So the reason I can tell you right off is it's due to convenience and comfortability, and I can attest for this. I know this for a fact because when I was younger, I always remember hearing my mom say, that she would wear braids because she didn't have time to get up early. She didn't like to get up early and having to worry about flat ironing or straightening her hair for work. And in some instances, I can even remember her wearing a wig to work on some days, because obviously when you wear braids or a wig, you don't have to worry about the tedious, repetitious and time-consuming routine of having to get up early and do your hair. Or in the case of little Black girls, Black parents don't have to worry about doing their daughter's hair. So you guys also have to understand a clear, blatant, and obvious fact too that a lot of Black women with typical hair textures will most likely have hair that lands in the 4-range spectrum. And this is something else that I learned from my mom as well too, is that she always talked about how her 4C hair was the most coarse and thickest of all hair types, which means that it's really like a kinky and coily hair texture, and hair ranges within the 4 range are generally regarded as the least desirable by some of the Black men within our community because they prefer to date women with hair textures, preferably the ones with either looser or straight hair textures. And I mean, you guys, I'm sure you've heard the degenerate and disgusting song by Chris Brown where basically he was talking about how he only wanted to be intimate with women with good hair. And we can pretty much surmise that he meant women whose hair was probably like in the 3 range or probably less, because somehow some of the Black men within our community have this notion that straight hair somehow equates to good hair, when that actually couldn't be further from the truth in some cases. And having straight hair doesn't necessarily translate to good. When you think about it in the realm of things, even women with straight hair may not have the best practices when it comes to routine maintenance and upkeep whenever it comes to their hair. I mean, I've seen in some cases it can be greasy, it can be unkept, it can be damaged, or in some cases it might even have a terrible smell that accompanies it. So while Black women with 4 spectrum type hair may have healthy, flourishing hair that smells amazing, you have to think about hair texture may not be that way. So I just want to say, fun fact as well too, that for some of you guys watching this video, Black women who have 4 type hair, when it's properly managed and taken care of, can sometimes have hair that comes all the way down to their back. I mean, I've actually seen it myself. Now, you guys are probably wondering how I know all of this, but I can assure you that I did have to consult with my mom prior to this video because a lot of this I actually didn't even know myself. She actually helped me to gain more of a thorough understanding of it because even I was actually unaware of the flexibility and unique nature that Black women actually have with their diverse and exceptional aptitude and how they choose to wear their hair. And the term that my mom actually had told me about is a term called shrinkage. And it's actually a good thing because when black women take good care of their hair for some time, they can actually sometimes pull just like a small portion of their hair down and see how far it comes down. And I found that to be fascinating as well, because you think just by looking at a Black woman's hair that it isn't able to reach a certain length, especially if it's 4C hair. But you guys actually would be surprised just how long that hair can be when it's straightened. And I know, my mom, she also wanted me to mention this as well too, but in some of the products she uses for her hair, she told me how she uses argan oil, or she also uses Moroccan oil, and then I know that certain types of coconut oil she uses. And I even saw my mom watching some hair tutorials where she uses like aloe vera plant-based products because of the substance that the plant from an aloe vera plant produces. So she uses it mainly like when she washes and conditions her hair, but it's supposed to help with growth around the scalp part, and it's really beneficial for her. And I'm sure other black women find the minerals in it to be rich as well with this plant. One thing I want to do actually momentarily is I do want to shift gears just for a little bit, because I actually had seen a YouTube video not too long ago of a little black girl that lives in Africa, and I can't remember exactly which country it was in Africa, but I remember that she received a suspension for just wearing her natural hair. She had it in kind of like a ponytail, kind of like a poofy hairstyle. I'm sure some of you guys know what I mean. And she explained in that video that she normally would have straightened it, but on that particular day, I think that she just wanted to wear her hair natural. The thing about it is, she's entitled to do that. And the teacher actually had given her a suspension. Now, I know what a lot of you are probably thinking, like, what sense does that make? Because I'm willing to bet you all can probably take a guess as to what the teacher looked like. I mean, and if you need a clue, let me just tell you this. She definitely was not one of us. But of course, the school, had they tried to issue a tired and cliche response talking about how they're so diverse and they're inclusive and the whole nine. But see, this is my whole thing, that it's on the motherland, y'all. I mean, I just cannot believe right there on Mother Africa, like a little black girl native to this continent, homegrown, gets told you can't wear your own hair because it's somehow distracting. Basically the hair that grows from her own head, they told her that she couldn't wear it in that style. Now, I do want to pause just for a moment because I want to actually provide you guys a little bit of history. I did some digging and some research because somewhere to me, I knew that this sounded familiar and I didn't know why initially, but I researched and found something called a Tiong Law. And the Tiong Law was a law that was in place during slavery and Jim Crow that basically forced black women to cover their hair because their hair would sometimes be fascinating and attractive to the men from within the dominant society. So in a sense, the women from the dominant society were actually jealous of this, and together with their men decided to force black women to cover their hair with this law in place. And a lot of black women still wear these in their hair today. They're basically like the bonnets that you see, the turbans. You may see some black women wearing some of these styles today. So fast forward, it sounds familiar, doesn't it? And this is why I pride us in learning our history, because the same way that I actually had found this out, this information, you guys can actually find this out as well too. And with you knowing that little bit of history, it really is beneficial. So that's why I say make sure you guys do your research. So it actually does bring me to another to tell you guys about as well too. Now this one had taken place here in the United States. It was actually another little black girl. She had been sent home from school because she wanted to wear braids, and according to the ridiculous teacher's excuse, basically she was saying how her hair was deemed unprofessional for a classroom setting. And when I saw that video, it actually had broke me down because the little black girl was walking out of the school basically crying. She was in tears. She was walking back to her parents' car because, obviously that's got to be really embarrassing and outright disrespectful. Basically that, this little girl's heritage, she can't represent it in school because she's being told that it's not professional for that setting. Now, one thing that I really don't like about that is because, obviously black women already have it hard enough just with their, but then whenever you tell them that even their hair is a problem, it's kind of like they can't win for losing. So you see that this girl is basically threatened. You see that this teacher is threatened by black hair so much that you have to exert your power over her and oppress her based on something that really shouldn't even be concerning you. But instead, that's what you choose to focus on. It's really some BS when you guys think about it. I brought these stories to your attention for a reason. When we talk about assimilation, black women are oppressed in the workforce because of their hair and certain other characteristics as well too, but not just that. But black women can't even wear their own hair when they go into these businesses in places of professionalism And I say it that way because in the grand scheme of things, this is their professionalism. This is the way they believe you should handle and conduct yourself. And they're the ones who are in power, not us. And so when you really think about it, who are they to assign a definition of what professionalism is? So for basic biological reasons, mainly survival, Black women have to straighten their hair. They have to wear wigs and manipulate their hair to fit the standard of beauty by the dominant society, because Black women may lose their jobs. They can be given other disciplinary actions for not adhering to these strict and inauspicious work conditions. And this is called assimilation because Black women are forced to conform, and refusal to do so almost always results in job termination. And you have to be able to support yourself, your family. So Black women will oftentimes result to wearing wigs or straightening their hair to fit the Eurocentric beauty standard, which is typically long, straight hair. Now, before anybody mentions it, yes, I'm aware already that there are some Black women with naturally straight hair. And I'm actually aware that Black women can sometimes just have a different texture of hair. And I'm more so talking about the ones that have the hair texture that lands in the full range. Now, the reason this isn't considered appropriation is because Black women aren't wearing these styles in an attempt to try and give claim to a hairstyle that's not naturally theirs. They're oppressed if they don't look a certain way, and they basically have to wear their hair in a style that's not naturally theirs. People have this annoying habit of saying Kim Kardashian wears her hair in braids, and you guys seem to have this double standard when it comes to her. So I want to say to that, first off, Kim Kardashian is a woman from the dominant society, and she is someone that is not oppressed for wearing braids or, hairstyles that Black women are told they can't wear because it's considered unprofessional or not workplace appropriate. And she's not ostracized for this. You guys have to understand. Prop her up on a pedestal and say her style is so innovative and unique. So she receives praise while Black women basically receive backlash and derision. And this is why when people try and make false equivalencies in situations where they don't apply, I feel like I need to come on here and make the proper distinctions to clear up the confusion, whether it be intentional or out of sheer purposeful ignorance. Now, to wrap this up, I just want to say this. Black women can wear their hair in any style they wish, or whatever is aesthetically pleasing to themselves. No one has a right to tell them how to style their hair. If they want to wear a wig because it's easier on some days, or braids because they just want to get up and go without worrying about doing their hair, then they should be allowed to do it freely without ridicule and contempt. No one says anything when women from the dominant society wears wigs in a sense, and then yes, they do wear them. I mean, you're not judged for it like Black women are, because Black women unfortunately are always held to a higher standard. And so I feel like if we point this out, it needs to be made clear across the board. Plus, another thing, my mother also had informed me that sometimes wearing wigs can help with hair growth. You just decide, for your hair on that day, you just want to wear a wig, or at least until, your hair is at a certain length. Then you can just wear it for that reason. And I'm not trying to attack my subscriber in any way. I'm tired of people treating Black women with little respect and acting as though they should be teased and ostracized simply for having options and adding some variation to their beauty. And I mean, we are talking about the most educated group of women here, and they have too many accomplishments really to name. So why are we so fixated with their hair? And to me, any man that's so concerned about how women wear their hair, I have to say that itself is a very feminine quality. Not a good look on the men who are supposed to exude masculinity. So if anything, we should be complimenting them, building their confidence, telling them that no matter their hairstyle, they look flawless and perfect in every aspect. And this is physical, mental, and spiritual. Uplift our women instead of trying to find flaws. So anyway, that's my commentary on this question. I really hope that answered that question. And I may do a follow-up to this video because I understand that some Black men in certain areas face similar circumstances with hair hate and discrimination. So everybody, make sure you comment your thoughts and opinions on this situation, on this hair situation. Make sure you like, subscribe, share this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.